All right. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Let's talk training. So I brought this up more than once, but the first video on training was many months ago. And since I'm going back and touching on some original topics from 7 months ago, I figured why not. I just posted earlier this morning on my LinkedIn about training. This is always coming up as a issue, as something that could be improved upon. Uh, One thing that is to note, training needs to be two ways, right? Now, I've trained thousands of people, many hundreds of trainings, no matter what job I've had since I was a teenager. They always threw training at me. So I've been doing it for 30 odd years and, a bunch of different businesses since I was a teenager in different positions. So this isn't just a quality thing. Training, of course, is uh, everyone's responsibility in the company. I've seen plenty of videos from people kind of being thrown into the fire, so to speak, when they hit ground, when they start, when they clock in. They're not properly trained and they walk into chaos and they have no idea what's going on. And that's bad business. That's bad as someone in leadership. It's bad as a company as a whole. It's bad for the customer. There needs to be some kind of training when you start. And I've even been in some positions where I didn't really get that much training, very limited. And that's what you're expected to do. And that's really not proper. There needs to be a training program in place. The employees, of course, need to know what they're supposed to be doing. Most companies have a standard of some sort that they have to follow for their customer, whether it's services like fast food or retail or manufacturing, IT, hospitals. It doesn't really matter. There needs to be a program in place with standards to be met, and the employees need to know what the heck is going on. Communication, of course, communication is always a part of that. It's always an important piece. But training is two ways. As if I'm a trainer, I will present information. But if you're not taking that, if you're not accepting that information, it's kind of a wasted effort on my part and yours. Training isn't always easy. It depends on what you're training. It depends on the material. I've tried, over the years, I've learned shorter trainings, and bits is better. So most of the training that I've developed that we're currently doing is 15 to 30 minutes with maybe just a few up to an hour. And when I can control it, I try to keep all the meetings to an hour or less. At least in my area, I've got a lot of stuff to cover, so it's kind of difficult to to do that. But training, if it's too long, you'll lose people, and especially if it's not engaging. But training is only as good as the people that are absorbing that information. If you're not interested in doing it, if you're being told and you're forced to go through this training, you're not really interested, you're not going to absorb the information, you're going to ignore it, you're going to forget about it. So training should be voluntary, unless it's mandatory type of training where if you're in a certain business, you have to have certain trainings contractually. Your customer, your client expects it. There could be certain government required training that you have to take. Got that. But I'm talking about other trainings that you want to get the best involvement. So people have to be interested in it. I've seen often too many times where folks are join the training and then just drop off, or sign up for training and don't show up. It's not really helpful. You want folks that will take what you're giving them and train others, train the trainer, teach others, utilize what they've learned. Again, depending on what the training is. It's better if it's passed along, because oftentimes the trainer can't always be everywhere all the time training constantly, depending on the job. If it's a position that's only for training, it might be a little bit easier. But if it's a secondary job, there's other things going on every day that also needs to take their focus. So that's why train the trainer is important. You're training individuals, and they can take that knowledge and pass it along their fellow employees. Of course, leadership should be a part of training, so they can also pass along the information and ensure that it's being followed and met, again, depending on what the training is. Some training might only be geared towards certain positions, so that might not always be as easy to pass along. So again, it always depends on the circumstance. But again, it's a two-way street for the trainer and the trainee. Hopefully the trainer is passing along the information in a good, easy to understand method, and the trainee is absorbing it, taking that information, asking questions, so they come out of the training more knowledgeable than they were when they started. All right, so I just wanted to bring this up because I see it often where you'll train people. The information is out there, it's offered, and it's just not used. All right, so just my 2 cents on it. The right people, the right time, the right subject, and you'll be successful. But training is key to the success of a business. Regardless, you don't want to have employees out there who have no idea. And I've seen too many videos out there, horror stories of people walking into a workplace and just being expected to start doing whatever it is with no idea what the heck they're supposed to be doing. That's bad business. That's bad leadership. And shame on them for doing that, putting the employees in that situation. That should not be the case. All right. So, till next time.